What do all historical accounts have in common? The thing they have in common is that they all draw back from the account of people who recorded them in the past. So what they do is that they look back on what was recorded and then now they make sense of the all of the thing and which makes the most sense to be how the event took place. So the book of Fire and Blood by George Martin. It's a book about historical account. So it's the historical account of how the Tangarians came to power in Westeros. So now this book now tells you how Aegon the Conqueror went about conquering the seven kingdoms of Westeros, but not the seven, but the six, because now Dawn was impossible for him. So it is about how Aegon came into power by conquering the six kingdom, and now later Dawn comes into the the dynasty finally, but start with the six kingdom. So it's a book that gives you an account of what really happened, like an account of what happened since Aegon started his conquest until the time that a song, the book series of A Song of Ice and Fire starts. So the book of A Song of Ice and Fire it starts with the Mad King. So the book now gives you an account of what happened as Saigon came to power and now how it went on until Iris 2 now the Mad King came into power. So that is the first thing about this book. The other thing now this one is tied closely with the one about historical account is that it's about the Game of Thrones, the struggle of power between Rhaenyra and Aegon too. So the thing is that Aegon too, he and his family now, the High Towers, they kind of took the throne away from Rhaenyra. Now what happened is that it ended up dividing the kingdom. So there are people who declared for Aegon, and now on the other hand there are people who stood by the odds that we saw, and now this one was to Rhaenyra. So the thing we realize about this time of travel is that it's the same thing that we realize when we look back at all the historical accounts we have of the what took place. Now the thing is that we don't know exactly what happened, and now what happens is that look at the different stories that have been given. So sometimes there may be only one account, sometimes two or three, sometimes even five. So look at what has been given, and then after that, now you end up with the one that seems most credible account of what really happened. So that is the first thing about it. Now there is a new day, a new week, and hope you are having an amazing start to your week. So the lead book series is about the books that I have read that have contributed to who I am today. And started this book series so that you can see like how I came about to be who I am today, like how these books have contributed alongside my experiences and alongside the people that I've been having around me. So but now this now is from the part of the book now from the in terms of reading. Now the second thing about Fire and Blood is that Fire and Blood is is written in the past. So for instance, when you compare it to a Song of Ice and Fire book series, is that the Song of Ice and Fire book series is happening in the moment, in the real time. Like when you are reading it, you feel that this is what is going on, like it is happening right now. But when you read Fire and Blood now, this one is different because it is set in the past and now doesn't have that connection that you get when something is happening in real time. But that gives you an account that you kind of don't have a very strong emotional connection to. So that is the second thing about the book, that it is written in the past and now because of that it lacks that strong emotional connection with the book and what is going on in the book. The third and final thing now this is about now George Martin, the book writer, is that it gives you an account, like it tells you everything about what happens when a character shows up on screen, how they go about their life, and finally how their story comes to an end. So, like it does that with every character. Now, when it's very interesting because George Martin, when we read George Martin's book that have so many characters, and now to be able to give an account of what is going on with every character, what finally happened to every character, I find it very impressive. So for me, those are my biggest takeaways from this book. So the first one is that it's an historical account, and now because of that, now it draws from it's written in such a way that even though it is fictional, it's written in such a way that it reflects the way historical account when you read them, how they feel like that most credible source. Second thing is about the way the book is written, and now the thing about the book is that it doesn't trigger your emotion so much. Like it doesn't get you so attached to the book, like when you compare it to Song of Ice and Fire, because now Song of Ice and Fire is happening in the real moment, while and blood it's about what already happened. So it kind of have a very low emotional connection when you compare to the high connections that you get from Song of Ice and Fire. And now the final thing is that Martin goes with his characters from the time they show up on screen, what they are doing and how they are engaging with other characters, and finally how their story comes to an end. So that is all about this book. And the, the thing I would like to talk to you about is that if you have read the Song of Ice and Fire book series, when you read this book now, it will be very different because now you will not have that strong connection with the book, like the strong connection you have with Song of Ice and Fire, but still was it so that you can get an idea of how the story really started. The second thing is, if you have not read Song of Ice and Fire book series, I would recommend that you start with this book, this and Blood book, because now it will give you the background so that when you are getting now to Song of Ice and Fire, now you have an idea of what is really going on and how the houses came to be and how the politics are ongoing now. So that's all for today, and I'll see you in the next session when now I touch on another Kiyosaki book. So bye bye. So bye bye. PDM.